Good morning, lovers. Anthea here. So I wanted to share a little story with you all. Firstly, Melbourne. Here we are again. Extended lockdown. You know, we go we go through cycles with things and we find ourselves here again. But we've got this, right? I know everyone's really, really tired. You know, parents are tired. Kids are tired of being homeschooled. Singles are tired of being trapped in their homes and isolated. Hey, John. Anyway, I wanted to share this little story with you. I went for my, I was out this morning and I was driving somewhere and I saw this dad pushing a pram with his baby, and he was also walking. He was holding the hand of his little daughter. She looked like she was about 2, right? Anyway, they were walking along and she tripped and she fell. And they were about to cross the road at the pedestrian crossing. And so he pulled the pram back and he stopped and he got down on her level and picked her, he helped her get up and she was crying. And he pulled her hand in because she hurt her hand, and he was like, let me see your hand. And he looked at her hand and he didn't say anything, but he just pulled her in to his embrace and he just held her. And he was rubbing her back. And it was really beautiful because that dad in that moment, he stopped what he was doing and he got down to her level and he met her where she was at. Yeah. And he didn't ask her to toughen up or to get up and get on with it. He softened and he embraced her sweetness, and I thought it was really beautiful because often what we do is we ask people to toughen up, to harden up, to strengthen up, like we're always like, come on, let's get on with it. Let's do this. But it was a really interesting moment because this dad, this grown man, he got down to her level. He allowed her to be in her sweetness and her tenderness, and he held her. And it was so beautiful to watch, and it just made me think, especially now during this time where we're isolated and we're still disconnected from each other, how are we being sweet with each other? How are we actually meeting people where they're at? How are we doing that? And sweetness is so important. It's so important to meet people with sweetness. Hey, Al. And, because sweetness is powerful. Sweetness has the power to soften even the harshest of armors. If you meet people and they're defensive and they have this wall around them and they're guarded, your sweetness, it can help soften them. Yeah? But if you meet them with harshness and, you want them to toughen up or soften up or whatever it is, we always meet people with these expectations that we have and we get defensive. And you know what? And this has been something that's been the theme of the week with my clients the last couple of weeks, is that when we overthink, when we're in our heads a lot, and a lot of us are, that's how we're conditioned to be, we actually become really selfish. And all we do is think about ourselves. And often it is some kind of, good morning, Shane. Often it is a projection from our inner child, right? Because if we weren't given the love and the attention and the affection we needed when we were little, and we weren't met with that sweetness, like this dad met his daughter with the sweetness, right? Then we become overthinkers and we try to understand what everyone's doing and why everyone's behaving the way they're behaving. And, we're up here and we're like, why did they do that to me? And And so it actually makes us really selfish, right? So it's really important to drop into our hearts and live from our hearts and try and just be and meet people where they're at and try and understand situations rather than assume and attack and resist and defend. Yeah. So the point of my story today was to talk a little bit more about sweetness and also to meet people where they're at, because when we overthink, we're not thinking about the other person, we're thinking about ourselves. And it is a really selfish quality. It's not intentional, I know that. It's definitely a part of our defense mechanisms to protect ourselves from potentially feeling more pain or hurt. But what's important is that if you are in relationships, friendships, whatever it is, your co-workers, whatever it is, right? If people are meeting you at a certain place, try to just meet them there and try to just appreciate the connection for what it is right there. Don't try to push for more. Don't try to make that person lower their guard. Don't try and ask for more if that person can only meet you there. You meet them there too. And what that does is it actually protects you from getting hurt. Because when we try to overgive, which is another, that's good, we're going into people pleasing now. When we try to overgive, we're doing a disservice to ourselves. Yeah, we're trying to create an outcome. We're trying to get something potentially that the other person can't give us, and we're actually missing the point of the connection. So it's really important to just meet people where they're at and appreciate them for where they're at and show them sweetness and kindness. Be your true, authentic self with them. Be open and loving. Yeah? And if they can't receive you, then that's okay too, right? But don't try and ask for more from people when they can't give it to you. Yeah? But being sweet, how are you today? You know, being loving, is everything okay with you? Yeah, that can soften people's armors. Like if you really care about someone and you want them in your life, meet them where they're at and just find a way to show them deep states of appreciation for who they are, because that's all we all really want, is we just want to be appreciated for who we are, right? We want to be accepted for who we are. And if this is all I can give you right now and you come at me and you want more, I'm just going to be like, Jesus, I cannot give any more right now. This is where I'm at. Yes, it just applies both ways, really. Just like if this is where you're at and you've got someone coming at you, and let's say you meet someone and they love you, like they think you're amazing and they want to date you, but you're just getting over a heartbreak. You're just recovering from your last relationship, and they're coming at you and they're throwing hearts at you and they're throwing their cups of love at you. You're going to be like, Jesus, just pump the brakes a bit, cool the jets, put it into first gear, right? And it's not because you don't want it, but it's just, this is where you're at right now. Yeah? And I'm sure we've all been in that place where we've thrown our cups of love at people and they just haven't been able to meet us because they're still recovering from their last heartbreak. And so this is an invitation for you moving forward to be really sweet. Practice being sweet with others. Even if it's a stranger you're walking past on the street, just smile at them and go, hi. Be sweet with people and watch how they respond to you. Yeah? Because people are a reflection of us and they will respond to us in the way that we project, in the way that we present. And so, mums and dads, be sweet with your children, meet them where they're at. And you know what's more important during this lockdown than education is actually mental health and being gentle with ourselves and with our children. That's what's more important than education. And singles and those who live alone, if you are lonely and you are really struggling, please reach out if you need some extra support. But also make sure you leave the house at least once a day and walk past people and interact with them. Say hello, smile through the masks, that we need that human interaction and that exchange of energy. Like, it's really, really important. What's important is how you support yourself right now, okay? And if you are struggling and you need extra support, drop me a DM. I'd love to talk to you. And if you don't want support, but you need to change your state, you need to feel like you need to support yourself better, start doing things every day that bring you joy, like little things. Yeah, like if you're a musician, for example, right? Play the music and do it passionately. Do it as if you're performing, because what that's going to do is it's going to light a spark inside of you, and it's going to keep you going. It's going to keep you moving forward, right? So guys, I hope this live has helped. If it has, drop me a little comment below. I'm coming out of hiding, you know. I'm coming out of the closet and doing more lives. Thanks for all the love, Al. Really appreciate you. Yeah, and I'm sending you guys lots of love. I'll speak to you soon.